G-Force. Remember G-Force? That tonally confused 2009 Disney movie about spy guinea pigs doing... I don't even remember what they were doing. They were sent on a mission to scuttle the plans of a power-hungry and sinister billionaire. Yeah, the movie was pretty f***ing mediocre and not received particularly well. But because it was a 2000s kids movie, of course it has a video game adaptation.
That is how the world works.
This era of movie tie-in games produced a lot of zero-effort garbage and some pretty good stuff. But for some reason, the team behind the G-Force game really decided, hey, what if we made this an unreasonably high-production game? The result is G-Force, the video game. I don't know why it says G twice. Maybe they were too focused on making the game awesome to pay attention to the layout of the title, but whatever. We can play on easy, normal, or challenging. Of course, I'll play on challenging because I'm an adult and it's the G-Force video game. We start in the biological training facility to teach us the controls. And the first thing you'll notice is this game looks very impressive. This has got to be the best looking 2000s movie tie-in game I've seen. So we're taught how to move around, jump, use our jetpack, vertical boost, okay.
Don't do the vertical boost just yet.
Don't use the vertical boost yet? Well, don't put it on the screen then.
It's not like a plane that glides, it just drops. It's almost, it shouldn't be in the air, really.
We learn how to shoot our gun, use our light whip thing, and zoom really fast. It's a promising variety of controls, and the best part of all is they all seem to function as intended. I know that's a low bar, but with these movie tie-in games, it's always a relief when the controls actually work. We also learn how to use Mooch, who unfortunately controls like utter dog shit.
Motherfucker.
Also, for some reason, D. Bradley Baker as Mooch is listed first on the IMDb cast list for the game, even though he only makes sounds like this. Mooch also casually possesses the ability to control the speed of time. Yeah, they just slide that in like it's nothing.
Mooch can slow time to get past fast-moving hazards.
The guinea pigs, we have a fly that can control time. What do we need these guys for? All right, training's over. Time to get into the meat of this beast. So we're told Bill Nye... No, not the science guy, the other one who whenever you say Bill Nye and someone goes, oh, the science guy, you have to go, nah, the other one. Anyway, Bill Nye is launching his new technology tonight, SaberSense. We're told the FBI has been tracking this whole SaberSense thing for years and that its launch needs to be stopped. Makes you wonder why they waited until the day of the launch to send in a handful of guinea pigs, but hey, we all know the FBI always does the right thing. So we arrive at the mansion to shut down the launch. We gotta sneak in. For some reason, I find this to be such a funny response to a guard seeing a guinea pig with a jetpack, just taking pot shots at it, not communicating with anyone on his team there's a flying guinea pig with a gun, and then just letting it run away like, oh well, whatever, that was kind of weird.
My work here is done.
We sneak our way into the building before eventually reaching a roadblock, this door. So we switch to Mooch to fly into the control room. The control room has two key features, a man staring at a bunch of complicated high-tech fake nonsense on 9 displays, and a separate display with a conveniently large input button that may as well be holding a sign reading, this is the one, if you're playing the game, this is the one that you want to press, just ignore that guy and his 9 displays, he's doing nothing, he's not important. So we zap it, the door opens, and we're in. We reach the computer, ready to hack, but need a key card. So back to playing as f***ing Mooch.
What's the point?
Hey, there's Bill Nye. Who's he talking to? There's no camera or webcam or anything. He's just speaking to the void. Not only can Mooch slow time, but he can also pick up unrealistically large objects such as key cards, which is lucky because we need a key card. Ooh, floating card. Now that we have the card, we can hack into the computer and complete our mission, leading to a cutscene where we see a bunch of technology come to life all over the place, with heavy implications of murdering children, or even just straight up gassing 2 guys. Yeah, that's not even implied violence. This is the silly spy guinea pig video game, and I'm seeing 2 men suffocate on gas, punching the glass in desperation. I'm glad to see the game kept the movie's key feature of tonal confusion. Oh, never mind. The animators gave them some slight movement, so technically they're not dead, and the game can still be labeled as PG.
Good job.
Really good job.
I'm just gonna put it out there, the story, the reasons behind why we're doing what we're doing, that whole side of things is a messy load of confusing nonsense. I know from my vague memories of watching the movie years ago that it's something along the lines of this guy, who gave us the virus to upload, was secretly activating all of the robots, and he's actually the secret villain or something like that. But playing it in the game, I really felt no point bothering to think about what we're doing. I'm sure if you really wanted to digest and understand the intricacies of the writing in the GeForce video game, you could probably make sense of it, but I'd struggled to give that side of things any attention because it's the GeForce video game. It's spy guinea pigs.
I don't give a
For the next section of the game, there's quite a lot of combat. The combat is a mixed bag. All of those tech creations you saw come to life in the traumatic cutscene are different enemy types. And the amount of effort put into each of their designs and animations is pretty impressive. As much as this electric whip thing looks cool to use, I'm not a fan of how it works because it seems to reach in every direction. So at times, the combat just feels like I'm doing nothing more than spamming the left mouse button until all of the enemies are dead. As you know, I was playing the game on maximum difficulty, and while I did die a couple of times, all in all, my approach to combat of just spamming left click without having to aim or time anything was an effective method to beat most enemies. There are some enemies where the whip isn't effective and you have to wait for an opening to shoot or use a laser in the environment to destroy them, and I'm glad the variety is there because if it wasn't, I have a feeling I'd be a lot more harsh on the quality of the combat gameplay because it does devolve into a mess of zero skill very easily. I struggle to believe whoever designed these sticky puddles didn't ask themselves, hey, don't you think this looks a bit like cum? But it's in the game, so here we are. So we run about, pulling down levers for reasons I didn't pay attention to, blowing up these robot appliances, flying around as Mooch. There's bits where we go into the dark and have to toggle on heat vision. Eventually we jump into a hamster ball, which, yeah, feels awful to control. You know, there's genuinely a surprising amount of ideas and effort put into this game, but it pains me to say it. Overall, it's decent gameplay with impressive visuals, but at the end of the day, it's the GeForce game. GeForce just has this hollow, confused energy to it. I love Crash Bandicoot. He's my guy. If there was a Crash game that was technically as well made as this one, I would play it and I'd probably like it. But this isn't Crash Bandicoot. Gameplay and game design needs to be at the service of something. And when it's at the service of GeForce, I just don't feel anything. It's a well-made game with a forgettable property at its core. Usually it's a good movie with a terrible cash grab game out of it, or a bad movie with a bad game, or sometimes a good movie with a good game. But it's rare to see a bad movie with a high production game, and for some reason it just doesn't work. The fact that the movie is such an unnoteworthy piece of crap sadly defecates all over any value this game might possess and drives away any desire to play it.
I'm done! You hear me?